Are you new to Beaver Builder and wondering how in the heck to get started? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the basics you need to know in order to get started using Beaver Builder today. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jennifer Franklin with Beaver Builder, and on this channel, we share with you tips on how to use Beaver Builder to build WordPress websites in minutes, not months. Now, I know what it's like to purchase new WordPress software and not know where to begin. So if this sounds like you, you are not alone. That's why we've created this video tutorial to walk you through everything you need to know to get started. And just in case you're new here, let's begin with a quick introduction to the Beaver Builder suite of products. Beaver Builder is known for its Page Builder plugin that lets you easily create layouts in the content area of your web page. This is the part of the page that is not controlled by your WordPress theme. But what you may not know is that we have an entire suite of products to help you build WordPress websites efficiently, including our framework theme that is tightly integrated with the Page Builder plugin. The Themer add-on is a separate plugin that provides drag and drop tools for creating custom theme components like headers, footers, 404 pages, content and sidebar layouts, and so much more. All of the plans can be used on unlimited sites, include the Page Builder plugin, offer world-class support, as well as premium modules and templates. Pro and agency plans add the Beaver Builder theme and multi-site capabilities. The agency plan includes additional multi-site network settings, as well as the ability to white label Beaver Builder as your own. If you're still having trouble deciding which one is right for you, or if you'd just like to know more about the differences between the products, I'll link up to a couple different videos in the description below, as well as in the card above. Once you've decided which plan is right for you, go ahead and click on Get Started. Once you've completed checkout, click on Sign Up Now. Let's begin by heading over to your My Accounts page and downloading the plugin. We are ready to download and install the Page Builder plugin. So the first step is to download the plugin zip file from your My Account page. If you're not already logged in, go to wpbeaverbuilder.com and hover on Account. Click on Login. On the My Account page, you will simply enter your username or email address and password and click on Login. Here you will see your downloads available based upon your purchase of the Standard, Pro, or Agency package. Your license key also appears on the page. If you're following along with me in this video, go ahead and copy your license key now. Simply click on the item that you want to download. Here I'm going to click on Beaver Builder plugin, Agency version. You'll see different items here based upon which version of Beaver Builder you purchase. Note that the Beaver Builder theme, again, is only available with the Pro or Agency package, and Beaver Themer is a plugin that you can purchase as an add-on. One thing to note here is if you're on a Mac and using the Safari browser, your download might show up as a folder, and this won't work. I'll leave a link in the description below, or you can try switching to a different browser such as Chrome. Let's head over to your WordPress website and install the plugin. From your WordPress admin panel, go to Plugins, click on Add New. Next, click on the Upload Plugin button at the top of the screen. Click on Choose File and select the downloaded zip file from your computer, or simply drag the file to the top of the Choose File button. Here you will see the installer file name just to the right of the button. Click on Install Now. A few things to note. If you have the light version of the plugin installed, it is automatically deactivated when you install a premium version. You can delete the light plugin without losing your layouts. If you already have a premium version of the Beaver Builder plugin installed, another screen will ask you to verify that the zip file you uploaded is the version you want to install. Here you will click Replace Current with Uploaded, and the plugin will be automatically activated. If you're doing a fresh installation of any premium version, which we're doing here, go ahead and click on Activate. Once you click on Activate, you will be redirected to the Beaver Builder settings page that looks like this. Here you will want to click on License. Go ahead and enter your license key, which we copied earlier from your My Account page. If you're having trouble here, note that for upgrades and downgrades, you'll want to check to make sure your license is still active. The license number should remain the same. Another quick tip here, as of WordPress 5.5, you no longer need to deactivate and uninstall the previous versions of Beaver Builder before uploading a new one. And note that you will see different tabs here depending upon which version you have installed, Standard, Pro, or Agency. The Welcome tab has a link to add a new page, join the community on Facebook, Slack, or in the forums, as well as a summary of changes in the latest release, plus links to the change logs. The License tab is where you enter your premium license key, which we just did. This will unlock your updates. This tab also lists which products are included in your license. By default, all of the built-in modules are enabled, but you can disable specific ones. For example, if there are some modules you never use or some modules you don't want your clients to use, you can disable select modules by simply clicking on them. And once you are done, you want to make sure you click on Save Module Settings. Under the Post Types tab, by default, Beaver Builder is only enabled for pages. You can enable it to insert layouts into the content areas of single posts by simply checking Posts. In addition, if you have WooCommerce plugin installed, you'll see a Products Post Type. And if you have any other custom post types on your website, they'll appear here also. And if you want to allow Beaver Builder on any of those custom post types, you would simply check the box and click on Save Post Types. The Templates tab refers to the landing page, content, and custom layout templates that you can add to a page when you're designing your layout in Beaver Builder. The Templates tab in Settings lets you choose whether to display or hide the standard layout templates called Core Templates. You can also enable User Templates only, which are your custom layout templates, or you can disable all templates. If you have the agency version, which is shown in this example, you can replace built-in templates with your own set, making it easier to provide your clients with your own custom solution. Under the User Access tab, you can enable or restrict access to various areas of the user interface for each of the WordPress user roles independently. So you would just click on the drill down arrow and then deselect which users you don't want to have access for either builder access, unrestricted editing, or global rows, columns, and modules editing. And then click on Save User Access Settings to save your changes. The library of icons available to you in modules is determined by what is enabled in this Icon Settings tab. Beaver Builder comes with a variety of icons already loaded, but you can also add your own icon sets if you prefer by clicking on Upload Icon Set. Agency versions of the plugin have both the Branding tab and the Help button tab, as you can see here. The Branding tab allows you to change the name of the plugin as it appears in the user interface, as well as the Beaver Builder theme. So here you could just change the plugin name to your own name, as well as upload your own icon. The theme name, description, company, and URL can all be changed as well. To save your changes, click on Save Branding. Again, for agency versions only, you have access to the Help button tab, where you can customize what your clients see when they click on Help. And lastly, the Tools tab has a cache section where you can manually clear the cache, a cache clearing tool, a debug mode section, as well as an uninstall section. Now that we've familiarized ourselves with the Beaver Builder settings, let's go ahead and launch the editor. Right here in the Welcome tab, we can go ahead and click on Pages, Add New to create a first page. When you create a page or open an existing page in the WordPress block editor, you'll see the choice of Launch Beaver Builder or use Standard Editor, as you can see here. To launch Beaver Builder, we would simply click on Launch Beaver Builder. You can also launch the editor from the All Pages list. Simply go to Pages, All Pages, and hover over a page in the list. Then click the Beaver Builder link. Note that when a Beaver Builder layout already exists for a page, the Beaver Builder link is followed by a green button. But since we haven't used Beaver Builder to create a page yet, you'll notice that we see a light gray or white button. If you're viewing a page from the front end of your site and you're logged in, the WordPress admin bar appears on the large screen, and you can click the Beaver Builder link to edit the page. For more info on how to launch the Beaver Builder editor, as well as some troubleshooting tips, check out the video that I'll link up to in the card above, as well as in the description below. When you open a page for editing in Beaver Builder, this is what you'll see. In the top left is the name of the page. So we just named this page Beaver Builder Basics, and you'll see that in the top left corner. And it says currently editing page. You'll also see the Beaver Builder logo in the left-hand side. To the right of that is a notification bell that has recent news from Beaver Builder. This pop-up contains all of the elements you will need to create your layouts. We are going to close this for now because we will come back to that. The first thing I want to introduce you to is the Tools menu. Over on the left-hand side, there's a drill down arrow. Go ahead and click on that. Let's go ahead and walk through each one of these tools so that you'll have a better understanding of what you can do with Beaver Builder. At the very top is the Publish Layout button. This will publish the layout without closing the Beaver Builder editor. The next button is Save Template. This will save your layout on this page as a template for use on another page in your website or for use on another website. You can export it and import it to another website. When you click on Save Template, a pop-up will appear. You'll want to give your template a unique name and click on Save. In the future, if you want to access a saved template, you would click on the plus button, and under Templates, you would go to Saved Templates. Here you will see a list of templates that you have saved previously. You would click on Sample Template, and this will pop in our template that we have used before. And it's already done, and it's as simple as that. To switch back to my blank page, I can simply click on blank. And then I do get a warning here that it will replace my existing layout. And yes, I want to do that. In our Tools menu, the next button is Duplicate Layout. This will copy the entire page and all the metadata from the back end, including any Yoast SEO data. It will create and open a new page or post with copy in the title. You'll notice here that after clicking on Duplicate Layout, the page that I had created previously would be copied exactly to a new page. So I would then need to give this new page a unique name, removing copy of. You would also need to update your permalink because the permalink becomes Beaver Builder Basics and then with the word copy at the end. So we wouldn't want that. So we want our new URL to be unique. And then you can click Save Draft or Publish. And then go ahead and launch Beaver Builder to open up this new page, which is an exact duplicate of the previous page. Begin editing it. Back over in our Tools menu, the next button is Preview Layout. And this will open a preview screen where you can preview your layout on small, medium, and large device sizes. Click Continue Editing to return to the Beaver Builder editing screen. The next button is Responsive Editing. This allows you to edit your layout directly in a medium or small device view. So for example, you could make setting changes at each view. So alternatively, you could click here on this icon. So for typography, we could update this for small devices. Say we want this to be 28. And then let's say for a medium device, we want this to be something a little larger, maybe like 38. And then again, we could click on this again to get our desktop view. We definitely need to make this a lot larger for desktop view. The next tab is Revisions. The Revisions tab will display the previously published revisions available to revert back to. The number of revisions available is displayed here in brackets. You can see I have 3 revisions so far. This menu item uses the core WordPress revision feature, but it makes it a lot more convenient to view and access as opposed to going back and forth to the back end of the website. One thing to note is only published pages will count as revisions, so saved drafts of pages are not available as revisions. The next tab, Layout, CSS, and JavaScript, is a quick way to add CSS and JavaScript that only apply to this page that we are editing. You can assign a custom ID or class on the Advanced tab of any row, column, or module, and then use it in your CSS rule. One thing to note is that a green dot will show beside this menu item when custom CSS or JavaScript has already been added on the page being viewed. Next up are global settings. The Beaver Builder editor settings that apply as defaults will be shown here. Most of these settings can be overridden on individual pages. Next, we'll skip down to change UI brightness. This option is a toggle that changes the skin from light to dark and back again. The WordPress admin tab opens a submenu with shortcuts to get to the following popular spots in the WordPress admin. Next, you can click on Help to play an introductory video, take a tour, view the knowledge base, or contact support. And lastly, the Keyboard Shortcuts tab opens up a list of shortcuts that you can use when using Beaver Builder. Note that the shortcuts are shown in uppercase letters, but the actual shortcuts can be accessed by simply clicking the lowercase letter. How are you guys doing out there? I hope you've gotten a lot of value so far out of this video where I've shared with you how to download and install the plugin, as well as gave you an overview of the settings page, as well as introduce you to the tools menu. Go ahead and hit that like button and stay tuned because the good part is coming up next. One of the quickest and easiest ways to get started creating layouts is to use pre-built templates and rows. These are professionally designed layouts that give you a starting point for your page so that you're not just staring at a blank screen. To get started, click on the plus button to open up the content panel. Here you will find a link for templates. This will give you access to landing pages, content pages, as well as your saved templates that I showed you how to create earlier. Next, you can scroll through the pre-built templates and choose one as a starting point. For this example, let's go ahead and choose the home layout. The next step is to replace the content with your own. So you can simply click on each of these individual modules to edit it. To add pre-built rows, you would click on the plus button and click on the Rows tab. From here, you would click on Pre-Built Rows, and you can choose from a number of different pre-built rows for a variety of different categories. For example, if we want to add a content row, we can click here and already find a number of beautiful layouts to choose from. Now, of course, if you prefer to design your layouts from scratch, that works too. I'm going to share with you how to use rows and columns to create layouts and how to use modules to bring your web pages to life. Here's how to use rows and columns to create layouts. Rows and columns are the containers you use to lay out your content on the page prior to dragging in the different modules. In the upper right-hand corner, click on the plus button to open up the content panel. When we drag a module onto the page, you will notice that our row, which is shown here by the blue outline, this is our row, and our column inside the row is already created automatically for us. Now, this is fine if we're just creating pretty simple layouts, but the problem is that as our layouts become more complex with columns within columns, sometimes it's easier if we drag in our row layouts first and then drag the content modules into them. Let's start by dragging in one column. And again, you'll notice here if I hover over the row, it turns blue. And I have one column within that. Next, below that, I want to add two columns within the same row, but below the first column. So now you can see I have the row is blue, and within the row, I have a layer that's one column, and then a second layer that has two separate columns. And let's say that on the bottom of that, I want to add maybe some logos. Drag in a sixth column. Here you can see how I'm working within one row with different layers. In this example, all three layers of columns are inside a single row, but we could also put each column layer into a different row. So for example, we could have one row with a single column. We could then drag in another row with two columns. And to do that, we would simply go below that row so that we're not inside of the container, that we're in a new row. So then we would have one row with one column, another row with two columns, and then let's drag that next row right down here with 6 columns. So you can see that this row outlines the 6 columns, this row outlines the 2 columns, and this row outlines the 1 column. This is alternatively to this row, which had all of the columns within the row. And you'll see as you work with this a little bit more, the reasons why you would want to choose one over the other. For example, this background we can control in our row so that it would all have the same background color, for example, whereas each one of these rows would be different height, and you can control the backgrounds of each differently. Now things can get a little more fun where you can put columns within columns. So for example, if we would put 2 columns inside this column, this would create a parent column. Edit columns button, we would see that there is a note for parent settings, which would control the entire column. Or we could also edit each column, this one and this one, individually. Another thing to note here is that columns stack vertically as screen size decreases. So if we go down to mobile view, you'll notice that our columns are now stacking on top of each other, and they stack from left to right. So these columns, it would stack this one, and then this one, and then this one. And you can reverse this if you go in and edit the column, and you would click on column settings, and then under advanced, we would go to stacking order. And we would click on reversed. When you hover over your column or row, it allows you to move. So for example, let's see what happens if we move this column over here, and we'll put it in the middle. So now we've moved that column, and now we actually have created 3 separate columns. Next, you can duplicate your row or column by simply clicking on the duplicate button, and that will duplicate. So for example, that column got duplicated, everything within it exactly over here. If you want to remove it, click on the X button. Same with our row. If we like the way that this row looks, we can duplicate it, and it will give us an exact copy of this row down below. When working with rows, we can click on the row actions icon and quickly reset the column widths or reset the row width. There is a lot we can do when working with rows. When we click on the row settings gear icon, it will open up a pop-up. And under the style tab, we can select the width of our row to be fixed or full width. If we choose full width, the content then we can select to be full width. This will take our content out to the very edges of our page, or we can set a fixed width. We can also set the height. So for example, the default height will just be the height of the content that you have inside. We can go full height, which will then open it up to be the full browser height. Full height rows will fill the height of their browser window, and minimum height rows are at least as tall as the value we enter, which for example, we can say that we want this row to be a minimum of 500. Our vertical alignment, we can have our content be aligned. So let's say for example, we have a full height row. We can set the alignment to be at the top, which will take all of our content to the top, the bottom, or the center. For each row, we can customize the text color, link color, the hover color, as well as our heading color. There is a lot we can do with row backgrounds. We can set a color, we can set a gradient. We can also include photos in our background or video, embedded code, a slideshow, or a parallax. And for each one of these settings, there are additional settings that we can set. You can add a border to your row. There are also some cool shapes that you can add to the bottom or top of your rows. For example, if you've ever wanted a slanted edge, or maybe you want some waves. If you need to adjust the margins or padding for an individual row, you can do that here under the Advanced tab. You can set visibility rules. So for example, if you only want to show this row on large devices or just on small devices, You can see here how you can set this row to show on certain devices. You can set your content to display never, always, or for logged in or logged out users. If you want your row to have some movement, you can choose an animation from the animation tab to apply to this row. Now, I know this is a lot of information about creating layouts, and I encourage you to take some time and experiment with different layouts. The possibilities are truly endless, and I promise you, you will feel like a pro in no time. Once you have your layout designed by dragging and dropping in rows and columns, this is where the fun really begins. Our Page Builder plugin comes with a huge selection of content-based building blocks called modules that help you create truly unique websites. Each module is designed for a specific purpose, making it simple to tailor a page to your exact needs. I'll link up to our ultimate guide to modules in the description below. This article walks you through each available module by category, explaining its purpose and suggesting some clever uses. The modules are separated into several groups in the content panel. They are basic, media, actions, layout, info, and posts. One of the module groups consists of WordPress widgets, which give you the ability to add widgets anywhere in your layout. The WordPress widgets group may also include widgets created by third-party plugins. Let's begin by simply dragging a module into our layout. Each module contains settings that determine how the content appears on the page. For example, our heading module allows us to choose an HTML tag, as well as add a link, and then determine if we want it to open in a new window and add a nofollow. We can also adjust the styling, such as the color and typography. There are also settings for style and spacing, as well as an option to add a text shadow. The Advanced tab is pretty similar on most modules, where you can adjust the spacing, visibility, animation, as well as add HTML elements, and the ability to export and import module settings. Another frequently used module is the text editor. You will notice that the text editor is very similar to the WordPress editor. Just like the Headings tab, the Style tab allows you to adjust the color, font, style and spacing, and add text shadow. I encourage you to take some time to become familiar with all of the different modules available to you here. If you're wondering how to get more out of Beaver Builder, you'll be excited to know that there are third-party plugins that can take your web design to the next level by adding a wide selection of advanced features. I'll link up to 2 of these powerful plugins, PowerPack Beaver add-ons, as well as the ultimate add-ons for Beaver Builder in the description below this video. Thank you so much for staying to the end. I've got something for you, a PDF download that shares with you 5 proven design principles to boost conversions. If you want to go check that out, I'll leave a link in the description below. I encourage you to continue the conversation over on our Facebook page or Slack channel. And of course, if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below this video. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.